There's something that I really like about total self-accountability, rather than even entertaining the idea that we are products of our environments and products of our genetics. And it's that believing that we have complete power over everything, even if at first it may seem delusional, is actually a healthy thought to hold in our minds. And it might not be a very comfortable thought if you haven't been around such thinkers before or haven't thought in such a way yourself. So the way I'm going to try and explain it is to talk about the fruits of action. So when you do something, there is a result. When you run a lot, your body has a physiological response. It increases the bloody mitochondrial efficiency. You get certain types of slow twitch muscle fibers that predominantly grow, compared to if you were an explosive strength athlete. You'd have a different the muscle fibers that would be prioritized in your growth in your muscles would be of a different type, right? I think there's slow twitch versus fast twitch, and endurance athletes have lots of slow twitch muscle fibers, and they have incredible cardiovascular efficiency. So that's the fruits of running. The fruits of running, the result of an action, right? So that idea of every action has its results, every action has fruits, can be applied to thoughts and ideas. If we hold the idea that we are victims of our circumstance, that everything that goes wrong in our life is due to other people, due to genetic history, due to your family, well, what type of results does that give? So we're not even going to judge it based on accuracy. I'm not interested in a factual, scientific, atheistic review of the truth of that statement or not. Of course we are affected by our environments, but I disregard that for a reason. Because, well, what is the result if you believe that everything that happens in your life is totally under your own control? Do you think you'll have more control over your life in the long run? Or do you think you'll have less control over your life in the long run? So, this is the idea of judging ideas or judging philosophy based on their results. What results does a certain idea that you hold in your head have? How does it change the way that you live every day? Does it improve your life? Does it make your life worse? And these are ideas of mental hygiene, where we basically monitor the way that we think and look for potential improvements. And I think a lot of people are pretty happy to accept you can make a change in your diet, you can make a change in terms of exercise, and we accept that those are good things. Dietary changes, exercise changes. But a lot of people even struggle with that. So, is it possible to change our thought patterns through willpower? Well, if you believe that your patterns of behavior are genetically coded, if your father was an alcoholic and you believe that if you have a sip of alcohol, you'll never be able to stop, because that's what happened to your dad. He ruined his life through drinking. If your friend then puts some vodka in your drink and you take a sip, you're going to think, damn it, that stupid friend has ruined my life. Now I'm addicted to drinking. I can't stop. Just like my dad. And there are people like this. There are people actually like this. They believe that, well, they believe that the way they react to situations is not within their control. And a lot of religion is just about the idea that if you believe something, it will be true. I think Jesus Christ himself is "as you believe, so shall it be," or something to that effect. He talks about, there's something in the New Testament, I don't know where from, but talking about the purity and impurity of food, and that a man with a strong faith will be able to eat whatever he wants, compared to someone with weak faith who won't be able to eat as many foods. And that idea is that if you eat something and you believe it's going to be bad for you, you're probably going to have a bad reaction. And the scientific study of placebo proves this to be true. So as you believe, so shall things be. Well, that idea will be true. Therefore, the idea of believing that we have autonomy and free will is a self-fulfilling idea. If you believe that you have free will, you have free will. If you believe that you are a product of your environment, you will not have free will. So, which thought are you going to practice holding in your mind? And it is a practice. And we will slip up. We will make excuses. And sometimes it's far more comfortable to make excuses for the things we've done in life. Because we've all done terrible things. Terrible things. Some more terrible than others, but I think they all hold a similar weight against our soul. So to genuinely believe in your heart of hearts that it's your fault and that everything you do in the future is under your power, is under your domain, can be a scary, scary thought. And it's really important to practice thinking in the way that we want. And just like we practice exercises, how do you start going to the gym? Do you go and copy the exact workout routine of a professional bodybuilder? You go put on 6 plates and do a 300 kilogram deadlift. I don't even know. I can only deadlift. Oh, my record was like 150 kgs, which is pretty good for my body weight, but that's not realistic. It was 1 rep and my back was like done for a week after. I generally deadlift about 100 kilograms, but I started super light. So in that same way, I mean, we know this. You don't go right into the deep end of the pool. You get into the shallows and or even just practice literally putting your face under the water and blowing bubbles. That's what they get kids to do. Why do they do that? Well, it's like the lowest amount of discomfort introduced by water. Have you had your head fully submerged under the water before? Have you had your face underwater before? If you haven't, that's going to be terrifying. You don't want to go straight into swimming, even in the shallows. So first you stand in the shallow water where you can stand up, you put your head in the water, and you blow bubbles. That's what swimming instructors do, I think. It's been a while since I had swimming lessons. I'm not... well, I had swimming lessons probably when I was... maybe 7 years old, 6 years old, so maybe even younger. That's been a while. It wasn't yesterday. So in the same way, when we want to start practicing more autonomy in our life, and we want to have the belief that we are in control, well, apply that thought to little things. Don't let your mind kind of take on the full weight of everything. You can still believe that, like, a few of your bad habits are the result of your friends, your family, your predisposition, just your environment in general. Hold that, But start taking on more responsibility for things bit by bit. And slowly but surely, it'll get easier and easier to start taking more responsibility mentally. Like, once again, I said I'm disregarding the fact, but mental responsibility, the belief that we are in control of our own of our own life. Start expanding that thinking until it encompasses more and more of what you do. And I think this is very important to being able to control your own destiny. So, yeah. Don't have much more to say on it. Other than, if it is something new to you, if this is a new idea, then I understand that it's probably a bit disturbing. Catch you later.